Hi there, Mark Ledbetter here with MVP Realty. I want to talk a little bit about the MVP Advantage program and the Edge program, and I'm here with Terri. So Terri, I want to turn it over to you for a minute.
Well, hi, I'm Terri Pascarelli, MVP Realty, and I'm based in the Naples, Florida, Southwest Florida market. And I am a graduate, I guess you could call it, of MVP Advantage.
You are indeed. You are indeed. Terri took the class with us in February of 2020.
Right.
So it's been a little time since the time has passed, and she's had great success. I have to tell you, I really love your videos that you do, talking about the market and the statistics and all that. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it.
But one thing I want to ask you, as a new agent, what were some of your fears or concerns as you got started?
Well, I mean, that's a fair question. And I think part of it is the concern about how do you come from being, in my case, a new agent. I wasn't somebody coming in to re-energize. I was starting at the very beginning. How do you get traction? How do you create any positive momentum when you're sitting at home in your office and you know what you want to do, but you don't know if anybody's out there listening, hearing, connecting? How would I really be able to get that initial start and momentum that would turn into something that was sustainable? And I really could look in the examples of many successful agents, but wondered how did they really get from square one to where they really felt like they had momentum.
You know, and this is a common fear from agents they have is that they have no foundation. So we want to make sure that as part of this is that, you know, I think of it as the pyramid. You slice the pyramid in three ways, and you've got to have this base pyramid before you can start going in your building blocks. So I was really glad that you took the class. So, you know, how did taking the MVP Advantage mentoring program, how did it help your business?
Well, in many ways, and I think part of it is it set that foundation. I was thinking about it, heading over here, that you have the program for Advantage organized into 12 lessons or 12 chapters, and it helped to just chunk out what seems like an onslaught of information, this fire hose thing that you worry about, and it put it into some organized kind of modules, and you always included putting your hands on it and doing it, not just listening to somebody talk about it, not only modeling success from other people, but you were great about bringing in successful people and other brokers, etc. But you always had us get our hands on it and try it. And I think by doing that in an organized way, it helped me figure out how to go about doing something I probably knew I wanted to do, but I didn't know how to do it in the systems we had, or how to do it within our multiple listing, kind of capture area. And so to be able to put the nuts and bolts together in an organized way just took that barrier down of it being one big thing, and it became manageable things.
Good. Yeah, and that's something that it is. And you mentioned drinking from the fire hose. It really is.
Oh, yes.
And a lot of agents I find tend to almost go into a meltdown mode. And I'm like, okay, you're feeling normal, so don't think that this is a bad thing. This is a normal thing. So just feel like that, you know what, bite-sized pieces. Just take it as you can. And you know what, and that's the thing. I love the fact that we also, provide the recordings to our agents so you can go back and watch it again, because sometimes it just, just absorbing all this. And the other thing is think about where you've come in 2 years. I mean, the places where you were when you were ground zero, and you're in a different place, a year and 6 months later after that, and now 2 years later. So
absolutely.
That's awesome.
And I mean, the irony, and we were talking about it before we came online here, is that February 2020 was right before everything shut down. Well, what an enjoyable time to launch a business. And so there was time to reinforce the training, but not as much time immediately to practice and do it. It took a while, even here in our market, to get everybody kind of back out and starting. And so that first year was really a very interesting dynamic. But having the steady hand and people to come back to, you were there for us even when our class was over to check in, whether we had a question about a buyer contract or a listing, whatever it might be. When the class was over, the process wasn't over.
Right.
And I think, to me, especially in that particular moment in time, that was a really big benefit of the program.
You know, it's interesting you said that about the pandemic, because we didn't know what was going to happen. No. I mean, Derek didn't know, I didn't know, we didn't know how the world was going to respond, and thankfully, we just had a blip in the map there, just a little bit there, and then we kind of got back on track, thankfully. So I was really glad of that. So what was one of your favorite benefits from taking the program? We kind of talked about some things, but do you have any one thing that stands out?
When I pull all those different pieces together, I don't know that it was one module or one topic. I think it was probably confidence.
Okay.
So the benefit was that I understood a lot more of the lay of the land, and I had practiced and tried things based on how the lessons and the modules went. And so when it was time for me to do those things sort of in real life within my business, I felt more confident. And if I didn't have the answer, I knew there were either the recordings from MVP Advantage or also the wraparound of Jerry's tips and the other trainings that we have on demand online, where you could go back when you needed it and
Right.
find it when you actually had to put it into practice. And all of those things integrated together were a good confidence boost. And I think half of it is when you believe in yourself, you go out and you figure it out and you get it done.
Sure. I'm glad you mentioned that about the confidence, because there's so many agents that they're scared to ask for the business because they're afraid they're not going to know the answer or whatever it may be. So I want to give you the tools to be able to say, you know what, I got this, and it's okay. So that's awesome. So what advice would you give to new agents or agents considering taking the program?
Well, it's probably a cliche. Just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it. I would say don't wait. If somebody's thinking or on the fence about it, it's a very, I think, welcoming environment. It's one where you get a lot from the relationships with the other agents
Right.
that are part of your class, and relationships that sustain again well after the 12 lessons are done. So there's so many levels that you can tap into now and later.
Sure.
So why would you hesitate when you have that kind of support?
I don't know. That's a good question. So I appreciate it. Well, Terri, I really appreciate your time today, coming all the way over here to talk with us about the Advantage program. I'm very proud of the program and the success that you've had, and I know you're going to continue to do great. So
Well, I
really
appreciate that,
it.
but it's a chance for me to say thank you to you too.
Well, you're welcome.
And to Derek and to all the brokers here, because not every brokerage offers these kinds of programs. And it's another really great reason to say when you chose MVP, you chose well.
Yeah.
I know I feel that way.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. That's awesome. Coming from Mark, here you go. MVP Realty. Have a great day.